Bring it back.
Hi guys, what's going on? I'm Evolos and today we are back with another episode of Ostriv. So we're on to episode, what is it now, episode 13 maybe? So if you remember last time, we have been having some problems with our finances. We are losing money each year, quite a lot of money, and we need to work on keeping that resource stockpile full. The main way currently we're looking at doing that is through exporting goods to some of the other towns nearby. And that's something I want to try and keep doing. So, and we've also been getting our farms up and going quite effectively as we're now starting to come out of winter. So it'll soon be ploughing and growing season. So all those fields are wheat. All these fields are potatoes, apart from one, which is going to be fallow. And I think all these fields are fallow. All my sunflower fields are fallow because, because they're worn out. They've not got any nutrients left in them, and they need a year to recover. So two of our farms have got ploughs, so that will help going forwards, and we can hopefully get a lot of wheat grown, and then a good chunk of potatoes as well. So hopefully before our money actually runs out, we'll get visited by another person, and then we can sell them some of the goods we have available. So currently we have a reasonable amount of potatoes. Why have I got people assigned to the fishermen even though the river is currently closed? It seems silly. So let's cancel that, try and cut down on costs. We want to sort of basically unemploy all the unnecessary people. I don't want just lots of people doing nothing. And if we're going to have people doing nothing, they may as well be building houses. This house can turn around like so. I'm keen to keep an eye on how much wood and stuff we have available. Not wood, sorry, how many potatoes we have available. A big worry would be running out of potatoes. We've still got quite a few, and we've got some wheat still available as well. I sold a few potatoes to the other players, but this year we should get a lot of wheat. Some of our families are struggling a little bit for food. You see families moving out because they ran out of money, basically. No housing, no jobs. So that's our current problem, is the job shortage, because everyone's getting assigned to there, but not enough people are having. So hopefully now everyone should get employed as labourers once they've done the ploughing, to do the seeding, help with the seeding of the farms, and that should give a few people employment. A new family has replaced them, so that's not really a problem. And that family's came with a reasonable amount of food with them, so that should keep them going for a while. Still got people working there and there. People at the carpentry. So hopefully we'll get our food planted soon. Let's reassign some workers to the fishery, or 4 fishermen. So look at our economy as well. Seems like our local sales are sort of somewhat offsetting our salary this year. We're still at 121 gold, which is good. We have plenty of cows. They're growing extremely quickly. I was going to build another cowshed, which has just been done. So let's assign 2 workers. That should be 2 women to the cowshed. And let's add a pasture field to the cowshed as well. We'll just have a small little pasture field. That's too small. Let's move it a little bit further out. Or we'll do it this way around instead. Okay, that'll do. Now let's move. How do we move? Drag and drop on the other cowshed to relocate. Like that. So we'll want, say 2, 3 cows and 1, 2 bulls. Hopefully there's still a bull in there at least. Yes, there is. Okay, excellent. So these cattle will get relocated to the new shed, so these should start to breed the new cattle. And then we should now have someone. We did have a person working at the slaughterhouse, which is giving it a hide. So we'll assign a worker back to the tannery. So then the leather there should be used by the shoemaker to produce shoes, once we've got everything sorted. What else have we got? So we've got textile being worked at the weaver's workshop. So I think we've only got 0.6 textile, okay, but we'll still assign a worker to the tailor's workshop, so then hopefully we should start producing clothes. We could have a look at potentially both selling clothes in our own town as like a luxury good for people like the mayor, who may be interested in buying them, or we can try and look at exporting them to some of the other towns as well. I don't know how much cloth is needed, or how much textile is required to produce one set of clothes. Obviously not a lot, 0.1 textile. Moving a bit of the textile across from the... Moving all the textile across by the looks of it. So how is the ploughing looking? Most of the fields are done there. They seem to have missed one of the fields here. At least a lot of the people have been picked as labourers. One potato field has been completely planted. One's fallow, but this one still needs to be ploughed. So that field's ploughed. There should be one field left to plough, but they may get on with sowing before that happens. So we're coming towards the end of March. Has this house been built yet? No. What are they waiting on? Wood and clay. Should have everything they need. We're starting to run out of money a little bit now. I think we're going to cancel the man in the tannery. Check that our cows got moved across, which they did. We've got 2 bulls, 2 cows, so they should start to reproduce, as it were, rather quickly. So we've got wheat, sunflower, 30 potatoes, some sunflower oil. What else have we got? Hay, clay, no fish, no nails, hemp, lots of hemp, some firewood. We've got some clothes have been made. Ah, that's good. 0.1 clothes, excellent. Reasonable amount of potatoes are being stored there. I'm not sure if something I was wondering. So, like, the total stored resources is showing as 3 sunflower oil, yet there's 24 sunflower oil in the trading post. So that doesn't really add up. So I was just wondering why that is. So there's 4 sunflower oil there. Yeah, so obviously stuff stored in the trading post doesn't count as a total stored resource in terms of the treasury. By the looks of it, I would say. We'll store some clothes at the trading post as well. We could really do with a visit now from one of our neighbouring people, so we could have some trade with them. You know, if I have to send a messenger to Murphy, it costs me 90, it's just too expensive. So really we do have to wait for them to come and visit us. Hopefully the rest of our families have got a bit of money, which they seem to have. And this house is nearing completion. They're ploughing the final fields. I think everywhere has been sown. A little bit more sowing needed on that one. And on the other farms, so hopefully the labourers will still be being employed to do all the sowing. Which is good, give a good amount of potatoes and wheat for next year. I've got 2 people, no one needed at the slaughterhouse. Taylor's workshop is still producing clothes. And it says absolute abundance of hemp. That's all good. And the cow shed is working just fine. Okay, things are going pretty well, I would say. I'm going to assign another house to be built. Just sort of building out this way, keeps the people well employed, hopefully keeps people from running out of money as well, even if I'm about to run out of money. I've got a reasonable amount of things to sell them if it comes to it. I could try selling, well, that's an option. Why, I might set up an exotic market store. Where would it come under? Trade and transport, market stall. So let's try and establish, where are we going to put this one? Yeah, sort of the wealthiest sector. Place it there. Well, place it along there. And so it's going to be like an exotic market stall. So we're going to sell things like sunflower oil, clothes. Well, we haven't got any shoes yet, but sunflower oil and clothes. Hopefully that then might raise a reasonable amount of tax in terms of local sales. Because, like, for example, you can see last year we exported 200, which is what kept our balance pretty reasonable. But hopefully if we can increase our local sales, then our total loss sort of per time might not be quite so bad. Okay, our wheat is starting to grow there. Still a reasonable amount of sowing to be done on this farm. I think this one must be finished now, so you think they'll start to get more labourers available for the other farm, which they are. This could be... Oh, that's a new family moving in. I thought that might be a messenger arriving. That's unfortunate. Family don't have money. You're always out of money, nothing I can do. You'll just have to deal with it. What else is there that needs doing? So that house got finished, so they're starting construction on the next house. All the labourers are there, so all these got fully seeded, and the rest of the fields are now being seeded as well. Sunflower oil, I think they might be out of sunflowers. No, sunflower oil is only 2. And yes, they can continue to move sunflower oil across to the trading post. Clothes are slowly starting to be moved across as well. I'm not sure if the worker over here managed to get access to some of the sunflower oil, which they did. Which is actually being brought quite readily by people. But you would think it's only people who have got the money to afford it. Yeah, a lot of people are buying sunflower oil. But let's have a look if... Yeah, even that seems silly to me. Why would the people who haven't really got any money be buying sunflower oil? What do they intend to do with it? It's good for local sales, but it just seems a bit of a rash purchase for many of these poor families. I was hoping that it was going to be brought by like the wealthy families such as the mayor and stuff. Which is what I'd intended, not necessarily just as a trade resource for all the poor people. So we've got 13 livestock still in the cattle shed. Let's keep it on fast forward. We're coming through from April to May. People still fishing. Is there a reasonable amount of fish? Yeah, 0.4 fish. The fish I'm not really trying to build up, it's just sort of a way of sort of offsetting some of the use of potatoes. It means there's still a reasonably good amount of potatoes stored in the facility. We'll increase that to 20 potatoes stored in the trading post. And we're getting a reasonable amount of money in now from... See, look, this family has no money, but they're awaiting sunflower oil. I wonder what... That'd be something, I don't know if anyone knows this. If you do, let me know in the comments. What does sunflower do for families? What is it used for, other than, obviously I guess it would be used in cooking, but does it have any impact? Does it allow them to make their food go further? Why would they be buying it? Or are they just buying it because they're just programmed to buy it? Does it actually do anything for them? Does it fulfill a need, like a food need or anything like that? That'll be interesting to know. If it did something like reduce their food consumption, you know, for very minimal use, then that'd be really useful. But I always just assumed it was going to be like a luxury goods and didn't really add anything. But I don't know. So the last little bit of sowing is now being done. There's still quite a bit of hay drying to be done. It's going to have to be done every year because we've got to get all these hay barracks refilled back up. Still lots of 10 stored there, 2 there and 2 here, but these all need to be filled yet. One woman's working that one, mowing the grass and turning it into hay. Message from Murpha is visiting, so now we can sell them 200 sunflowers. So they're sending now a cart to pick up, which we can do, and then we can sell them a further 12 as well, which is exactly what we want. So this is going to give us a very good, much needed boost to the money. The one thing I have noticed though, which seems a bit silly, is they demand sunflower oil, which they pay 10 for, and they demand sunflowers, which they pay 10 for. So really, there's not all that much point in selling them, making sunflower oil. You could just harvest the sunflowers and just sell them. That seems to be little financial gain from actually producing the sunflower. I guess that's just one of those things. So I'm also exporting the remaining of the sunflower oil because it's 32. So that should give us 320, which is a good bit of gold, which should keep us going for a while. Everything is growing well. The potatoes are all in growth. The wheat is really starting to grow. It's been ploughed, so hopefully that will help it grow well. It's all planted at a reasonable time, nice and early in the year. Good amount of labourers, so we should have a good harvest. We still have an absolute enormous amount of hemp. And the clothes worker is just still working away. We've only got 0.4 clothes, not very many. I guess the bulk of the spare clothes are probably taken up by the stall over here, the market stall. I'm not sure how many sunflowers we've got left. 8.6. Yeah, that's taking that down fairly quickly. Potatoes stored in the thing is going up. That means we've still got 20 potatoes left to eat, which is absolutely fine. It should be more than enough for winter. Plus we've still got a whole harvest to do yet next year, so that'll be fine as well. That house has finished being built, so let's get another one up and running. I sort of built a bit of a housing row down there, so I might build a little bit of a row behind as well. Annoyingly slightly askew, which bothers me slightly. So let's get that one constructed there, and we can then build probably another row behind them, turn it into like a little housing estate. They have got a market stall set up there to sell them food as they need it. Plenty of people working there. So there's plenty of open jobs, no real unemployment at the moment, which is good. Hopefully stands a chance of people getting some minor degree of wealth. I'm not sure if any clothes are really making it to the market. Every now and then they do, but then they just get purchased immediately, I think. The woodsmen slowly have to keep cutting down the forests. I think this is the first of the wagons arriving from Murphy. Yes, it is. They should arrive in our trading post. So now he needs to get loaded up with the sunflower oil, which I'm hoping he'll do. I'm not sure if there's actually an animation for that, or if it's just going to suddenly disappear. Oh, it's now loading, I guess, because the sunflower oil is going down on the thing, and we keep getting 10 per time, which is good. Our money is back on the rise. That's exactly what we wanted. Spectacular. Hopefully we should be getting the second wagon, which it is, all piling into the trading post, which is exactly what we want. Oops, not that button. World map. Yeah, so we're selling a lot of our sunflower oil. Whether we'll sell the whole 32, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure how it works. But it's nice to be getting back into a reasonable amount of money again. I think it's also helped selling some of the stuff at the market. Oh, family out of money. What family? Don't care about them. Oh, we're in profit for the year. Look at that. It's amazing, isn't it? Don't see that very often. Although that's almost all from trade, not local sales. So we're still reliant on selling things to other visiting peoples, but that's fine. Our hay is going quite well, but not as well as some of our potatoes. We're going to have a good potato harvest. So yes, so we sold all the sunflower oil, which gave us a really good boost. There's now a good store of potatoes also in the trading post, and the clothes should be on the increase as well. I'm going to assign another woman to the weaver's workshop and another woman to the tailor's workshop. Since we have such an overwhelming abundance of hemp, it seems logical to me that we might as well crack on with that and get that going a little bit more. Next year we should have enough to rework this farm and get all the fields active and back to working sunflowers again, so we'll have a crop of 4 sunflowers, get all that harvested. So that'll be great. But I think that'll have to do for this episode. I think that was fairly productive. I'm very pleased we managed to sell all that sunflower oil. That gave us a real good boost to our economy. Exactly what we needed. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Next time we'll be getting the harvesting, see what we get from our wheat and potato crops. We can try and set a few more potatoes aside in the trading post to sell, because we can get 8 per potato for them, which is also pretty good for our economy when we get visited by Bablika, because they're the ones who want potatoes. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you have, please like it, give it a comment, let me know what you think in the thoughts below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.